Welcome to the deep dive. Have you ever thought about doing business in a completely new culture? Maybe you've got a trip coming up and you're wondering about those sort of unwritten rules.
Oh, yeah. We've all been there. It can feel a bit daunting.
Exactly. Well, if that sounds familiar, you're definitely in the right place today.
And understanding those little nuances, that's really what we're digging into, isn't it?
It is. We're doing a real deep dive into what you need to know for successful business travel in specifically Tokyo.
Right, Tokyo. Big one.
Yeah. And to really, get under the skin of this, we're leaning on the incredible experience of moveandstay.com.
Yes. They've been around for a while.
Over 25 years, they've been right there in Asia, helping business folks, expats, people relocating.
Finding places to work, places to stay, short-term, long-term.
Exactly, whether it's just for a day or, a month or more. So think of this as your shortcut, your insider guide to feeling prepped and confident for that Tokyo trip.
It's amazing, really, the kind of practical knowledge they must have gathered over, well, a quarter of a century.
Totally. They've seen what works, what trips people up.
All that real-world stuff.
Okay, so let's break it down. We're going to cover Japanese business culture basics, essential etiquette, navigating the city itself. Tokyo's huge.
And dining, that's always a big one.
Yeah.
And accommodation.
Yep, all of it. So settle in. We're aiming to get you ready to navigate Tokyo like you've done it loads of times, even before you pack that suitcase.
And it's worth saying, I think, that while it might seem, intimidating at first,
Yeah.
a lot of this business culture stuff, it often boils down to things we all kind of value, right?
Yeah.
Like respect, being mindful.
That's a great point. It might look complex from the outside, but from everything I've read, Japanese business culture, it's fundamentally about showing respect, mindfulness in how you interact.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe less scary than people think. Even small things, trying to be considerate, that apparently makes a huge difference.
It really does.
I even read the story, someone on their first trip, totally anxious about messing up, but they found people were just really understanding because they were clearly trying to be polite. Seems like genuine effort goes a long way.
That definitely tracks with what I've heard. And one of the biggest, most fundamental ways to show that respect, punctuality.
Oh, absolutely. Punctuality is, well, it's everything. Seriously, being late isn't just inconvenient. It's seen as genuinely disrespectful.
Yeah, it really is.
The advice is always aim to be a few minutes early. Give yourself that buffer,
Always better early than late.
And if something happens, I don't know, the train's delayed, we've all been there.
Happens everywhere.
The key thing is communication. Let them know immediately. A quick heads up can smooth things over.
Because they value planning.
Right.
And respecting other people's time. So being late without warning, it just hits differently. It can seem like you don't care.
Exactly. It erodes that initial trust.
It really demonstrates that you're considering their time, their schedule, and that formality. It doesn't just stop at being on time, does it? It runs through communication, too.
Definitely. Formality is key, especially when you first meet someone. Using surnames, the right honorifics, like san.
Right. Unless they specifically say otherwise.
And emails. Keep them polite, structured, no slang, nothing too casual.
And it's interesting that indirectness you sometimes encounter.
Yeah, that's important too. Directness isn't always the way. Sometimes things are phrased more subtly.
Well, it often links back to that cultural value of avoiding confrontation, right? Keeping things harmonious.
Yes.
So instead of saying, that's too expensive, maybe they'd say something like, that's an interesting idea. We'll need to look carefully at our budget.
Understanding that nuance is crucial, isn't it? It stops you misinterpreting things.
Totally.
Which kind of leads perfectly into those core ideas.
Yeah.
Respect and harmony.
The foundation.
Yeah, it's about actively avoiding confrontation, really listening, sharing deference to seniority.
Keeping the group dynamic smooth.
Exactly. That harmonious environment is often the priority. Maybe even more than, forcefully stating your own opinion. It's about finding that common ground, making sure everyone feels okay with the process.
It might seem a bit slower sometimes, maybe.
Perhaps. But it's all about building that trust, those long-term relationships. That's the goal.
And if you step back, you see how it all fits together, don't you? The punctuality, the formal talk, the harmony focus. It all builds that trust.
Which is vital for actually getting business done there.
And it's not just words, is it? Nonverbal cues are huge.
Oh, yeah, like nodding. A nod doesn't always mean I agree.
Exactly. It can just mean I'm listening, I'm following. So you'd have to pay attention to the whole picture.
Watching body language, trying to catch those unspoken things, That can be so valuable for building those strong relationships.
Which makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
For you, the learner, how often do we really tune in to nonverbals in any business meeting, whatever the culture?
Good question. Definitely food for thought. Okay, so we've got the cultural groundwork. Now let's get practical. Tips for a smoother trip. Because Tokyo, amazing city, but
Yeah.
yeah, it can feel a bit much when you land.
Oh, for sure. It's massive. It's bustling.
Yeah.
Having a few practical tips can make a world of difference.
Okay, local customs. It's not just what you do, but sort of understanding the why. Like bowing,
The bow.
a little nod, slight bend at the waist. Usually fine for casual greetings. But a deeper, longer bow that shows more respect, formal situations, maybe apologizing.
Different levels for different contexts.
And when someone gives you something, like a gift or even a business card, receive it with both hands. Shows you value it.
These small things, they really send a big message, don't they? You're making an effort, engaging respectfully.
Totally. So, key things.
Yeah.
Bowing, know the levels. Taking shoes off, super important in homes, some traditional places. Look for the shoe rack.
Yeah, the Genkin.
And gift giving. If you give a gift, both hands, and say something modest, like just a small token.
And the wrapping is often important, too.
Good point. But the good news is, if you're a visitor and you make a small mistake, people are usually understanding.
Yeah, they get it.
But making that genuine effort, learning, observing, that really, really goes a long way. It shows you care. That's what counts.
That sincerity, that genuine interest.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bridge. Often more than getting every single rule perfect.
Okay, language. Tokyo's international, yes, but English isn't necessarily everywhere, right? Especially outside the main tourist zones.
No, not universally spoken. So making an effort with even basic Japanese, hugely helpful.
Even just hello, konnichiwa, thank you, arigato, excuse me, sumimasen.
Absolutely. Makes a real difference in daily interactions. Shows you're trying to connect.
The advice is get a good translation app on your phone. Google Translate works pretty well, apparently, maybe others too.
Definitely handy to have.
And business cards. Get them printed with English on one side, Japanese on the other. Such a thoughtful touch.
Oh yeah, that's a great tip. Shows real preparation and respect.
And maybe try learning a few phrases for your actual business, like, I have a meeting with, or could you explain that?
That bilingual card, though, seems small, but it makes a big positive impact right away.
Speaking of cards, meishi, business cards, they're a big deal in Japan.
Oh, absolutely fundamental.
It's not just paper, is it? It's seen as like an extension of the person. You got to treat it respectfully.
The whole exchange, the Mishikukan, it's a real cornerstone of that first business meeting.
Exactly. So when you give your card, both hands, make sure the writing is facing them so they can read it.
Right, easy to read.
When you get a card, receive with both hands. Take a second, look at it, acknowledge the person, maybe a little nod.
Show you're actually reading it, taking it in.
And please, whatever you do, don't just stuff it in your pocket.
No, big no-no.
Use a business card holder if you have one. If not, put it carefully on the table in front of you during the meeting.
Movesday.com has that really helpful do-don't list for this, which nails it.
Yeah, it does. Giving. Do use both hands facing them. Don't just flick it across the table or be sloppy.
Receiving. Do use both hands, read it, acknowledge. Don't put it away instantly without looking.
And during the meeting, do place it on the table, maybe arrange them based on who's sitting where. Don't fiddle with it or write on it unless you absolutely have to.
Good tip about networking events being great practice for this.
Yeah, good place to get comfortable with it. Nailing these little customs definitely helps make the trip a success.
It's treating that exchange like a meaningful first step, not just, swapping details.
Okay, so culture, etiquette, basics covered. But Tokyo itself, huge city. Let's talk districts. It's not like some places with just one CBD, is it?
No, not at all. Tokyo has several key business districts, each with its own kind of flavor and focus. Knowing them helps.
Helps you choose where to meet, maybe where to stay.
Exactly.
Okay, first up, Marunouchi.
The financial heartland.
Right next to Tokyo Station, super accessible, home to big banks, global companies, trading houses. It feels very prestigious, traditional.
Definitely has that established, powerful feel. Very buttoned down, maybe.
Yeah. The streets are immaculate, impressive buildings. Feels like the place for meetings if you want to project stability, success.
Makes sense. If you're in finance or a big established corporation, Marunouchi feels like a natural base.
Then there's Ginza.
Luxury.
Shopping.
Primarily known for that, yeah. High-end boutiques, department stores. But it's also attracting businesses now that
Mm-hmm.
want that really prestigious address.
Right, that association with elegance, quality.
The vibe is refined, central, and interestingly, moveandstay.com points out you can find good service departments there too.
So it's got that mixed top-level business, but with a very polished, sophisticated feel. Good for luxury brands, maybe. Premium services.
Sounds like it. And then Shinjuku.
Whoa. Energy. Skyscrapers.
Totally. Super vibrant, dynamic, famous for the giant buildings, the entertainment, plus the world's busiest train station is there.
Massive transport hub.
And loads of government offices, hotels, shops, restaurants, everything. The feel is just energetic,
Yeah.
accessible.
Always buzzing. Seems like a good choice if you want to be right in the thick of things. And maybe handy for after-work stuff, too.
Definitely practical. The transport links alone make it a solid choice for lots of businesses, especially if you value that easy access and lively city feel.
So the takeaway is, think about your company's image, what you're actually doing there, and even just what you personally prefer.
Yeah, which vibe fits?
Marunouchi for traditional finance, Ginza for upscale prestige, Shinjuku for dynamic energy and transport.
Something like that. Each offers a different experience. Worth figuring out which aligns best with your goals.
It's aligning where you are with what you want to achieve, kind of.
Yeah, and the impression you want to make.
Okay, so you're in Tokyo, you know the etiquette basics, you've got a feel for the districts. How do you really maximize the trip beyond just showing up for meetings?
That's the goal, isn't it? Not just surviving the trip, but making it really productive and, well, maybe even enjoyable.
Right. First thing, meeting prep sounds like this is non-negotiable in Japan.
Absolute fundamental. Do your homework.
Really know who you're meeting, their company, the background, the context.
Understand their perspective if you can.
And getting key documents translated, good idea.
Very good practice.
Yeah.
Shows respect, shows you've put in the effort. Even if they speak English, having it in Japanese is, well, it's noted.
Okay. And, oh, business cards. Make sure you have plenty.
Cannot stress this enough. Running out is apparently a major own goal.
Yikes. Okay. Good to know.
Thorough prep just shows you're serious, you're respectful, sets a great tone from the start.
Okay, what about adapting to local business hours? Are they different?
Well, the standard is often 9 to 5-ish, but
Yeah.
expect potentially longer days. And that punctuality thing is always there.
Right. Arriving late. Even a few minutes. Bad.
Very bad.
Mm.
Be ready for meetings, maybe starting touch early or running over. Be flexible.
And lunch breaks. Anything to know?
Sometimes smaller places might close for a bit around lunchtime. Just something to be aware of.
And after-hour stuff? Common.
Oh, yeah. Business entertainment, dinners, drinks. Especially in areas like Shinjuku, it's often part of building the relationship.
Which brings us to relationships. It's not just about the deal, is it?
Not at all. Business in Japan is built on relationships. Personal connections matter a lot.
So taking time to actually get to know your counterparts is important.
Crucial. Accept those dinner invitations, maybe drinks. Show genuine interest in them, their culture. That's how you build trust, rapport.
It's about the long game, building partnerships based on respect and understanding.
Exactly. Not just quick wins.
Okay, let's switch gears. Getting around. Tokyo's transport system looks complex.
It does at first, but honestly, it's one of the best in the world. Super efficient.
Yeah.
Once you get the hang of it, yeah. It's reliable, clean, and usually the fastest way to get anywhere.
So mainly trains and subways.
Yep, that's the core. A huge network run by different companies, JR, other subway lines.
Okay.
Trains are frequent, spotless, almost always on time. Peak hour can be crowded, definitely.
Heard about that.
But the system handles it incredibly well. The big recommendation, get a travel card. Suga or Pasmo.
Ah, the tap-and-go cards.
Exactly. Rechargeable, use them pretty much everywhere. Saves fiddling with tickets for every trip, easy to top up,
Smart.
and download a good navigation app. Google Maps, City Mapper, essential.
For planning routes, checking times, finding the right exit.
Lifesavers.
Yeah, seriously.
They take the stress out of navigating those massive stations.
Yeah.
Oh, and Suic and Pasbo, while similar, are technically from different rail companies, but you can pretty much use either one interchangeably in Tokyo.
Good to know. Okay, what about taxis or Uber?
Taxis are everywhere, easy to hail,
Mm.
but they can be pricey, especially for long rides or in traffic.
Right.
Ride-sharing like Uber exists, but it's not as common or maybe as cheap as in other big cities.
So when would you take a taxi? Luggage. Awkward location.
Yeah, exactly. If you've got loads of bags or you're going somewhere off the main train lines. But be warned, many drivers don't speak much English.
Ah, so have the address written down in Japanese.
Definitely helps. Big time. Ride sharing is an option, maybe easier with the app interface, but likely costs more than public transport.
So trains and subways are generally the way to go for cost and efficiency?
Overwhelmingly, yes. Taxis are for convenience at a higher price.
Got it. And airports, getting from Narita or Haneda into the city?
Several good options there, too. Depends on where you're going and your budget.
Okay, lay them out for us. Narita first. It's further out.
Yeah, quite a way. You've got the Narita Express direct train, comfortable, connects to major stations like Tokyo, Shinjuku, but it's one of the more expensive choices.
Okay, option 2?
The airport limousine bus. Really convenient if you have luggage, as it goes direct to lots of major hotels. Door-to-door service, basically.
Nice. And option 3?
The Kaisei Skyliner. Another train, generally faster and a bit cheaper than the Narita Express. Goes mainly to Ueno Station, which is good for some parts of the city.
And taxis from Narita?
Available, yes.
Right.
But be ready for a very hefty fare. It's a long way.
Okay, the table from moveinstay.com is useful here. Narita Express. About 4,000 yen, takes 90 minutes.
Roughly, yeah. Limousine bus, similar price, maybe slightly more, but longer travel time, 120 minutes depending on traffic.
Skyliner, cheaper, around 2,500 yen, and faster, 50 minutes to Ueno.
Right. And that taxi could easily be 20,000 yen or more and take 120 minutes.
Wow, okay. And from Haneda, it's closer, right?
Much closer. Taxis still maybe 8,000 yen plus, but only 60 minutes travel time. Much more manageable. But still, train or bus options from Haneda are usually quicker and much cheaper.
So planning that airport transfer is pretty important for budget and time.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's worth figuring out beforehand to save hassle and cash.
Okay, moving on to something enjoyable. Dining. Business meals. Choosing the right place. It's more than just good food, isn't it?
Oh yeah. The venue says a lot about the meeting's purpose. Formal negotiation or relaxed relationship building.
So for formal stuff, maybe a high-end restaurant with private rooms.
That's usually the go-to. Offers privacy, status. For more casual chats, maybe an izakaya, a Japanese pub.
Okay, but maybe noisy. Need to make sure you can actually talk.
Exactly. Consider the noise level.
Yeah.
And always ask about dietary needs beforehand. That's just considerate.
And book ahead, especially for popular places.
Definitely recommended. And
Yeah.
think about location. Too easy for everyone to get to.
Choosing the venue carefully shows thought, sets the right tone.
Absolutely.
Now, Japanese food itself, so much variety. Good idea to know a bit about basic dishes.
Yeah, familiarize yourself a little. Shows respect, helps you order, avoids surprises.
And be aware of allergies, restrictions, always important.
Very. If you're unsure what to get, ask your host for a recommendation. Or choose a set menu, a T-shoku. Often a safe bet.
And try new things, but don't feel forced, right?
Exactly. Be open, but it's okay if something isn't for you. Showing interest in the cuisine is usually appreciated, though.
Okay, crucial bit. Dining etiquette. Chopsticks. Rules.
Key rules. Never stick them upright in rice. That's for funerals.
Okay, big one.
Use the chopstick rest. Don't pass food directly from your chopsticks to someone else's another funeral custom link.
How do you share them?
Put it on a small shared plate first, then they take it.
Got it. What about bowls? Rice. Soup.
Totally fine to lift the bowl closer to your mouth.
Yeah.
Expect it even.
Drinks.
Polite thing is, don't pour your own. Pour for others, let them pour for you.
Ah, okay. And the toast.
Usually kanpai. Cheers. Before the first sip of alcohol.
Slurping noodles. Okay.
Not just okay, often seen as showing you're enjoying it.
Huh. Good to know. But still, avoid loud chewing, talking with your mouth full, standard stuff.
Right. And remember, silence isn't necessarily awkward. Comfortable pauses are fine. Don't feel you have to fill every gap.
Listening while showing interest. That's key for rapport.
Exactly. These little etiquette points add up to a respectful, positive experience for everyone.
Okay, last big topic. Accommodation. Where you stay. Really important for a business trip.
Your home base,
Yeah.
right, needs to work for you. Comfort, efficiency.
Tokyo has tons of options, obviously. Big hotels, service departments. Depends on budget, length of stay.
What you need.
Business hotels often have good facilities, right? Business centers, meeting rooms, fast internet.
Yeah, geared up for business travelers. MoveOnStay.com mentioned a few good examples. Hotel Groove, Shinjuku, a Park Royal Hotel.
Hotel Century Southern Tower, Kyo Plaza Hotel Tokyo.
All known for being convenient for business. Key things to weigh up are location near meetings, your transport, amenities you need, and of course your budget. Prices vary a lot.
Those specific hotels sound like solid, well-regarded choices in key areas like Shinjuku.
Generally, yes, good reputations.
Now, what if you're staying longer? A week, a month?
Then the service department might be a better bet than a hotel.
More space, kitchenette.
Often, yes, more like a small apartment. Can be cheaper for longer stays, gives you more independence, maybe feels more like home.
Can cook some meals yourself.
Exactly. And you still often get services like cleaning, laundry. MoveAndStay.com actually specializes in helping find these kinds of places.
So, for extended trips, service departments offer that blend of hotel convenience and apartment living.
Like a really smart, comfortable option.
And location, location, location. We keep coming back to it. Where your hotel or apartment is matters hugely.
Paramount. Think about where your meetings are. How easy is it to get there?
Being near a major train or subway station saves so much time and hassle.
Absolutely. We talked about the districts. Marunouchi for finance proximity, Shinjuku for the transport hub and energy, Ginza for that upscale feel.
So choosing your accommodation location strategically can really make or break the trip's efficiency and enjoyment.
It all ties together your business needs, budget, and just your personal preference for convenience and comfort.
So there we have it. A pretty comprehensive look, I think. Tokyo, amazing city for business, but knowing the etiquette, the customs, that's how you make that great first impression.
Absolutely. Punctuality, respect for the culture, trying a few words of Japanese,
Yeah.
it all helps.
And hey, if you get the chance, explore beyond the meetings. It's an incredible place.
Definitely. Don't just stay in the hotel or meeting rooms.
With a bit of prep, that Tokyo business trip can be super productive and actually really enjoyable too.
Totally. Understanding those cultural points doesn't just smooth the business side, it makes the whole experience richer. You get more out of it.
And maybe a final thought for you, the learner, listening in, as you think about all this. Consider how really grasping these subtle cultural differences isn't just about being polite. It can actually be a real competitive edge in international business, can't it?
Absolutely. A powerful advantage.
Might even spark an interest in digging deeper into cross-cultural communication overall. Anyway, thanks so much for joining us for this deep dive with those great insights drawing from moveandstay.com's long experience.
The Bleger.